Hello guys, it's John with here doing another weekly blaze. Have skipped it a few weeks, and I'm back now. This is actually a bit of a special week as well, for two reasons. First up, I'm actually recording on a Friday, just after midnight. Usually when I start weekly blazes, I wait till at least, midnight, at least like a little after midnight on like a Sunday. Sometimes I'll go to a Saturday if I feel like it, but nope, we're starting on a Friday this time. So that's one reason why it's special, because I never do that. But also, this is the week we get Beyblade X news. Seems I was wrong. May isn't going to just be something very vague. It looks like we're actually getting stuff. Finally, I'm glad I was wrong there because we've been waiting. 321 was a bust. April Korokoro really sucked, and now it's time for the May Korokoro coming out here in a couple days. I was planning on starting this a little bit later, at least to wait until like Saturday, but yeah, we already have a little bit of news, so I want to talk about that now before anything else comes out. Just because, why wouldn't I? And this news is very vague, so I don't feel too bad about not talking about anything before. So I'm going to go ahead and read off what there is here. I want to cover this pretty actively as we get new stuff, because it's just fun too. But let's see here. Let me pull up the kind of text here, what they were saying. So we know apparently the first two bays, the attack type and the balance type. These could be mistranslations, I don't know about the names, but I'm reading exact here. We have the attack type called Drawn Sword, maybe like Dronzer, I don't know, but probably Drawn, okay, I don't know why I said Dran to start. Drawn Sword is the attack type that's going to be the main bay apparently. And the balance type is called Hell's Scythe. I think that's just going to be Hell, so I'm just going to call it Hell Scythe, but yeah, that seems like what the two first bays are going to be. And yeah. And I've heard something or other about the names being based on weapons. As you can see there, Sword and Scythe. That would make sense. So it seems like, again, this might be an edgier Beyblade series, which is pretty interesting. I mean, they're starting right off the gate here with a bay called Hell Scythe. That's kind of to me, that's a little bit something. Like, man, you're really going to start with a bay called that, like day one. Okay, yeah, okay, that's something else. But plus Drawn Sword, that's pretty cool. So the main bay will be a sword bay. Interesting. Apparently there is a silhouette of the third and fourth bays, the third one will be a stamina type, fourth one will be a defense type, we figured. Not revealed yet, apparently. That's fair. I really would have liked to see the full lineup just in full, just all there, all four of them. But at the same time, you know what? Sure. May will be the first two, June will be the next two. Apparently there will be in June, a toy fair, I think it's the 11th and 12th. So probably they'll be there, and that'll be our first look at them. Then we'll get some more, proper images from the Korokoro, I'm assuming. So we'll have some stuff for June. But for now, first two bays will be revealed. I'm very excited about that. Hopefully we get an actual, full reveal, but I don't know. We'll see. I want to see the parts and stuff. But, yeah. Apparently the layers, or whatever they're going to call them, I guess just the main contact points, will have metal. I don't think the contact points themselves are metal, just kind of like Chozets, where there's metal on them. So that's pretty weird to see that already, but sure. Let's see, apparently some other stuff here. Let's see. Okay, so the gimmicks have not appeared yet, but apparently it sounds like metal from MFB. So maybe they are metal contact points. I don't know. I don't think so, though, but an engine gear from Bakuten Shoot. And then also bursting from Burst. So apparently there's going to be metal like MFB. Again, I don't know what that means. I heard it wasn't metal contact points, unless it's changed, but who knows. But engine gears from Bakuten Shoot, again, to start, that's kind of wild. And also bursting, of course, but like, so what? Like, I'm just genuinely confused because like usually when we get bays, like at the start of each gen, they're very basic. Like look at Black and Shoot, the 4-layer system. These were very, very bare bones. Pre-hybrid wheels, the parts were pretty basic. I like the pre-hybrid like wheel designs, but like everything else is very simple. Burst, I mean single layers, very simple. But these like engine gears with metal and bursting, and they sound kind of wild to start the generation. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So either this gen's going to be very short slash very just consistent without much, like I guess advancing really, or this gen's just going to get to a point where it's going to be ridiculous, probably like 3,000 yen per bay or something, with how wild that they might go if we're starting like this. That's insane. There's also some very weird news that I saw about the manga, apparently. And let me just read this here. So the manga will be written by someone who, it says wrote, but I think it was illustrated, not wrote, but it was illustrated by the person who made The Promised Neverland. Again, I don't think it's the author of that, but the illustrator, from what I saw based on the name. Let me check the name, actually. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but I know it was, let me see here. So, the name itself, Demizu Posaka. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but if that is the correct name, which is what it seems like, then that was the illustrator for The Promised Neverland, which is a pretty dark series, but like the art can definitely translate into Beyblade without a problem. It's definitely a unique art style that she has, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I do hope that translates into Beyblade to give us another kind of unique art style. We've kind of always had unique art styles for every gen of Beyblade. They're all different, so hopefully this is a new art direction. And her art style is very nice, so I would not be against seeing that as a 4th gen Beyblade's art style. So yeah, pretty cool if that's the case, which it does seem to be. It seems like she'll be writing the manga as well. So writing and probably illustrating. I mean, it's pretty typical of a mangaka to do. But don't know how her writing style is, since I don't, because she didn't write The Promised Neverland. Again, I think she was just the illustrator, but still, we'll have some good art for sure. And writing, I mean, it is Beyblade. I'm not expecting anything too crazy, but you know, whatever. Hopefully it is good. I'm sure it will be. One interesting thing to note is that this is, I think, the first female author of Beyblade. Which, look, I hope we actually get some female bladers this time around in this gen, because Burst, they just like refuse to have any girls be relevant at all, and it's like, man, like I feel like you're missing out on some opportunities here, but they just wouldn't do it. And the one time they did, it was like a Hasbro exclusive. So hopefully this time maybe that they actually will do something with that. I don't know. I hope anyway, because again, it just seems weird to not. But yeah, overall though, it definitely seems like a very, I don't I don't know how to feel about it. It just seems like a very strange generation from what I could tell. Like it just seems weird. I'm very interested to see what these bays look like, which I'm sure we'll be getting very soon here. So, very curious about this, for sure. Want to know more, definitely. So, that's where we're at right now. I'm not really going to predict much else because I don't feel like there's a lot to predict yet. But, yeah. Outside of that, though, I guess Bottleman stuff I'll talk about as well for the Korokoro. Guess that's the second thing I need to talk about. There's 2 other things I want to talk about after this, but, like, they're not really news related. They're just, like, probably the only things I'm going to talk about that aren't news related this video. But, Bottleman. So, I know we're apparently not getting a May Bottleman release, from what I heard anyway. I heard it's June. But I have a feeling it's going to be a mid-June release, and I think we probably will get the reveal of this Korokoro. which would make sense, because I'm assuming that the July release will be revealed in the June Koro Koro, because it's usually a little bit earlier in the month, so, like, early enough to where it wouldn't be revealed, like, a couple days before release, you know? So I'm going to assume that's going to be the case here, and if I'm right about that, then we'll probably get the June release, revealed, and also the release date shown within the next couple days. Today's what, May 12th? Again, I'm starting this weekly blaze very early, but usually we get leaks the 13th, and then also like the 14th we get more stuff, 15th it's fully out. Although I guess it's America for me, so 14th basically. So within a couple days here, we should have the Bottle Man revealed, and also more Beyblade stuff. And I don't know what the Beyblade stuff's going to be. I don't know if I could show it or not, but I'm still very excited regardless. Bottle Man stuff I'm excited to talk about. Hopefully we get our first control type. I don't know how we haven't gotten that yet. But yeah, very, very excited regardless. So we'll see. My money is on Skull Pistol G being the Bottle Man revealed. So yeah, that's my predictions. I wanted to start this early because like it just like the weeks lined up really awkwardly because like news comes out like the 13th usually kind of like around then, and the week ends on the 13th, and like it just seemed like a weird kind of mix. So I'm like, I guess I'll just start a couple days early just to make sure I get to talk about this stuff as it comes out. So yeah. Anyway, the other two things I want to talk about really quick. The first of which is actually played some games. I actually replayed Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, just because. Next month I'll probably replay all the classic 2D games plus Mania. Adventure and Adventure 2 both very good games, although I always thought Adventure 2 was only like slightly better than Adventure, but I kind of think Adventure 2 is quite a bit better than Adventure 1. Both still really good, it's just like, yeah, no, Adventure 2 is just great. I feel like it really improved a lot of stuff. Although I will give Adventure some credit with like I do like kind of the overworld and stuff, but also Gamma Story just goes really really hard. I just have to say that Gamma Story is great, so got to give Adventure some credit, you know. But they're both very fun to play through. So that was a fun time. I played through them each in a sitting because I just did. I don't really know what happened there. Kind of weird to think about though, because I remember it feels like a long time ago I started playing these games, but it was like not even a week ago. But so that was what, like Saturday and Monday, I think. Yeah, I played one on Saturday and two on Monday. Yeah, and to me it's basically like Thursday to me still. You know, it's just past midnight for technically being Friday. So yeah, this is a very early weekly blaze, but yeah. Um, See, I feel like I had something else to talk about, but I just like completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, I was playing. But yeah, Sonic Adventure was fun to play. It was really nice to replay those games. Finally, I actually played these games in over a decade. Or no, I played Adventure 2 more recently. I actually did a Let's Play on it way back in 2014. Yeah, of course I had to check in on the Chow. Have not been checking in on them as much. The last Chow update I did was what, 5 years ago? Man, yeah, 2018, May 2018. That was 5 years ago now. That is wild. I can't believe it's already been that long. Okay. Yeah, time is just weird, you know. That was it's a long time ago. Okay. Oh yeah, other thing I want to talk about. I remember now. Videos. So I have been putting out some videos since the last weekly blazes went up. Let me just pull up the my YouTube channel here just to talk about that because I've been chilling with videos. I say that, but I still upload at least like once a week at least. I say chilling, but it's been like 4 day gaps between videos, which isn't bad. I said I wanted to do like at least like one a week roughly. So I mean, every 4 days or sometimes even every 2 days. That's really not a bad schedule there for me. So since the last weekly blaze, okay, so I know I did the V2 base in those videos. I did. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did the Van Falco review. The reimagining Beyblade Burst. That was the first part of that I did. That was really cool. The single and dual layers. The weekly blaze goes up. Okay, then we have the next few videos. So the last few videos of April. Okay. I did a Bakugan discussion, the first proper one. I went back to retitle some old videos, but yeah, so Was the Bakugan reboot good? That was the video, and it was a fun video. I don't think it's the craziest thing, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it, and I thought it was a fun time. It was pretty long, but I think it went well. I think it was a pretty solid video. Just talk about the reboot. Of course, at the end, I had to tell everyone how much better Bakutech is, because that's just what I do. After that, I did 2 more videos in April, I think, which were, yeah, the Royal Griffin DX video with swapping cores, and the Kolomaru Energy DX video with the original Kolomaru DX add-ons. So yeah, the Royal Griffin one, that was a fun one. I wanted to really get the point across with the magazines with the double speed cores, because I feel like that's kind of an underrated thing. Because the magazines just make you have to reload once per triple shot rather than twice or even 3 times if you don't use magazines. So it's pretty effective. I wanted to kind of bring attention to that. Also, the Kolomaru one was just kind of for fun because, why not? It's just a fun extra video to make. Then we get to the May videos. Let's see. How many May videos have I done? I think 4. Which is still like an okay amount. It's the 12th, you know. Next video probably won't be till the 14th, which I'll mention what that's probably going to be in a second here, but... So yeah, the first one was the ranking video for every Metal Fight remake. That was a fun one. Got to go through that. Got to tell why I hate Hell Kerbix's remake and talk about the rest, but yeah. Next video I did was, of course, the Random Collection Volume 3 video for Bottleman. Yes, I finally got that. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, actually. I don't think I mentioned ever ordering this, but I did. And, yeah, I certainly bought it and got it, and, yeah, I had to tear it apart, basically. I actually wanted to buy that solely to make a video on it and basically just pretty much warn people not to buy it because it's really not a good idea. I mean, if you want to buy like the recolors, I think you get them pretty cheap, or like just random ones, it's like whatever, but don't buy full sets or CCXL and DX, they're way overpriced. After that, there was the Reimagining Beyblade Burst Part 2 with God. I kind of didn't like this part that much. Like, I don't think the video itself did anything wrong. I don't think it was like a bad one, but I don't know. I feel like it just wasn't as interesting as I hoped. I think Chosets will pick up, because I kind of felt like that with like the single dual layer stuff as well, but I think Chosets picks up a pretty good amount. I think GT also gets a bit better. But I know Sparking and DB, these go off. I have so many ideas for them. Like, I genuinely almost wanted to just make like a DB video, and I was like, well, I have some Sparking ideas too. Then I'm like, you know what? Have some Chosets and GT ideas, but it was kind of really like the earlier stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I did them anyway. I at least wanted to bring up some things that I thought would have been helpful and good, but they're not like the most necessary things. Except for like the Guardian Carbius and the Strike God Valkyrie arguments. Those are for sure things I would have wished that they did. But yeah. But yeah, I got the second part up, and then most recent video was the Death Scythe ranking video. Also one that I wasn't like crazy about making. Just feel like 4 base wasn't a lot, but it seems to be doing pretty well overall. I don't understand YouTube sometimes. Like, you can make, like, I could literally go in depth about, like, random collection, not random, that's not a good argument. I'll stick to Beyblade. I can make a whole reimagining series where I reconceptualize all of Burst, and it might get, like, all the parts could end up with the same amount of views. It's like one ranking video that's like 9 minutes long about the 4 Death Scythers. It's just like, man, this is like such a low effort video compared to the other ones, which is something. But at the same time, I don't really care about that too much. Like, I really just wanted to make the reimagining series anyway, just because I think it's cool. I probably will do the same thing with Bottleman eventually, but I might wait till it's over. I'm not sure. I might do the prototype system sooner than later, though. We'll see. But yeah. I mean, also, I think I just mentioned it, but yeah, there's the targets right here for the the Bottleman stuff. I just have them stacked up like this because I don't know where else to put them. Then you have like the three colors. Then you got CCXL on DX up here, kind of like the cool Bottleman stuff. And we have some other stuff back here, but like Royal Griffin, Dragogena, CCXL on DX, all very cool looking. Up front like that. Plus, you got Colmar Energy DX in the back. The unfused versions right there for Royal Griffin, Argreno, and Element Kaiser. This is like a really cool looking thing, I think, but yeah. Anyway. So, back to video stuff. So I think my next video is probably gonna be the 14th with St. Aquas review, probably, or is it Grand Panzer? I actually need to look at that. Who released first? I feel like St. Aquas did, but I think I'm wrong on that. I think it actually is Grand Panzer. One of the two. One of those two will be reviewed. I'll figure it out. But yeah, Bakutek review will probably be next, and then after that though, what else even is there? Like maybe the Beyblade X discussion if I can do that. Also, I have Bottle Wyvern G on the way. Once I get that, of course there'll be a video on it, but then once that's here, I'll also do a Bottleman discussion on kind of this remake problem. I made this video once already, but I really didn't like the arguments I made and wanted to rethink it. And also have all of them in hand, so that's actually another reason I wanted to buy the CCXL Leon DX, but once I have Bottle Wyvern G, I'll do that as well, and then there's also part 2 of the Reimagining series, or not part 2, part 3 for Chosets later in the month. Probably, that might be all the videos I do this month, actually, aside from like this weekly plays, maybe another weekly plays, and then maybe one other random video if I think of it, maybe like the Bakugan, like Gen 3 stuff if I want to talk about that, but not too many more videos this month, but still should have at least a few, which is nice, but yeah, June should have more stuff though, because I think that's when I want to do the Bakugan Armors video. And my Beyblade collection and Chef Blaze episode 19, and of course you'll have 2 more parts of the Beyblade Reimagining series, with one of those being part 5 with sparking stuff, which is going to be a pretty in-depth one. Next month, maybe there aren't going to be like a ton more videos, but the amount of like just time put into them is going to be a lot higher. Plus, I mean, I also have other stuff like another Bakutek review, which will be on either Grand Panzer or St. Aquas, depending on what this month has. And of course, like another ranking video for Wyvern, and probably another Beyblade discussion on like the stamina and defense type, probably. So, still have some stuff for June. June should be a pretty stocked month, I think. There's a lot of big videos coming for sure. Very excited about that. But yeah, I think July chills out. No, July doesn't chill out. Beyblade X releases. What am I talking about? July is not going to be chill. August might be a bit more chill, I think, because then the Reimagining series is over. I should have a lot of my bigger videos done. Then it maybe goes back to normal, because there's a lot of stuff going on. I know, again, May have some good stuff, but like June's going to be wild. There's a lot of stuff for June that I want to do. I said I want to do the Armors videos first half of this year, and I think I might start working on it soon, but like it probably wouldn't be done till then, so that's going to be a fun one, for sure. Very excited about that. But I think that's everything for today. Just want to talk about some general stuff plus the news, at least for now, and then next clip should probably be actual, like we got more concrete news, which I'm going to be very excited to talk about, so that's going to be fun. I'm very, very interested to see what they have for us. I guess next thing could very well be a proper look at Gen 4 Beyblade, which I kind of thought was going to be June, but no, it looks like it'll be May, which is great. Thankfully, I was wrong there, because, man, I was really not looking forward to having to wait almost 3 months after 321 to finally get anything of Gen 4, although 2 months is still pretty bad, but, it's still better, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's all for today, so I will see you then. Alright, it's now Saturday at like 2 a.m. I think. So, there is more news today, but first, I did get an update on my Bottleman order with a Bottle Wyvern G, and hear a lot of sirens at some. Anyway, so it's apparently been like within an hour of my house since Thursday night. Realistically, it should have come Friday, but it didn't. So, could it come later today? Maybe, but the thing says it won't be here till Wednesday. I mean, it almost have been like within an hour of my house for a week at that point. I'm not that upset though. Like, here's the thing. Post offices are just completely like they're completely overrun at this point. I don't think we were equipped for this much this many packages. Since online shopping has become more prevalent. But anyway, it's like a little bit too of a serious of a conversation. But if it doesn't care to ones that I'm not that upset, it's not really an important thing. So they could take their time, prioritize other stuff. That's fine. Um, but yeah, it's just weird. I'm like, I feel like it could probably be here sooner than that, but I don't know at this point. If it comes sooner though, then I'll probably make that, or I guess tomorrow or today technically, it would have to be. Then I'll do that video for the 14th. If not, then I'll do the St. Aquis / Grand Panzer review. I need to figure that out still. And then either like the 16th or the 18th will be the Bottle Wyvern video, and then some point within a few days after that will be like the, you know, discussion on remakes, and then eventually it's like the shows that's reimagining for Burst. Anyway, speaking of Beyblade, more Beyblade news did come out today, which is nice. So, what did we get for Beyblade news? The bays use metal. I mentioned that there was going to be kind of metal on, like, whatever the equivalent of the layer is. I still don't know what it's called. We don't really know that yet. We're going to get more news on the 17th. I don't know if that'll be like the full system reveal or not, but that's probably June, I think, from what I heard. But hopefully we get more stuff from whatever they're going to announce then. But I am excited regardless to see what they do. But when I said metal, though, it's not metal like Burst. This is like, these are metal contact points. We're going back to like MFB type of stuff, which I feel like is just such a bombshell of a revelation. I just said it a little too casually there. But yeah, we're going back to metal apparently, which is very interesting. I didn't really expect that, but at the same time, like, it makes sense. So apparently the base can burst, and they'll be using metal, and there's also like the engine gear type of thing. So I guess it really is kind of all three gens in one in some ways. Apparently the engine gear stuff, I heard something about like this X dash type of mechanic. That apparently the bays will like speed up or go crazy depending on their X dash. So I think this will be a part, or it's some kind of gimmick that will probably vary from bay to bay. I don't know if it's like a literal just gimmick, and it's just using that as a name, kind of like a god ability, or this is literally like an actual part that will be swapped out, that will have a gimmick, but it's like an actual like type of part name. We'll have to wait and see. Also, apparently these bays are like really fast. I don't know if that's just marketing or if it's like actually just really fast, but we'll see. The launchers also use 3 prongs now instead of 2, which is very interesting. I did not expect that at all, but I'm here for it, I guess. And then they're also, the bays are really small. Like, they're smaller than like any other gen started, it looks like. Like 4-layer system, pre-hybrid wheel, single layers. These look like maybe bigger than HMS, but like HMS is like the smallest, I think, so it looks like we might be starting as like the second smallest line, which is pretty cool actually. I remember being concerned about that because I said, I thought maybe if there was like a gimmick to these bays, which there is apparently, I thought they were going to be bigger. And I was worried about that, but I guess no, they're just going to be small, which is nice because I was hoping that they would be. We needed to downsize a bit. My cases are completely just not working well because the base just got too big, so looks like they will be back to working properly, which is very nice to see. But yeah. So, very interesting news for Beyblade. I did not expect them to go all in with the metal and stuff like they did, but I guess they are. Also, probably the biggest piece of news is that the attack type is apparently not the protagonist bay. Drawn Sword is going to apparently be the rival bay, and the main character will be a balance type user. Hell Scythe is the main bay apparently, from what I heard. This is really strange. We've never had something like this before, so I'm very curious to see what that's all like about and stuff, because I don't think we've never had like a balance type user as like the main protagonist. Like, yeah, we've had, of course, like, Iga, for example, of course, as like a balance type protagonist, or even like Hikaru, but they're still like later protagonists, they had the protagonists of different seasons, but like, it's not like Vault, who was like the first protagonist, and kind of always like the most prevalent of any protagonist. I mean, at least when he's not in his own season, you know, like yeah, of course, someone like I don't know, we'll just say Belle. Of course, Belle's the most prevalent for DB, but like if Belle were in a different season, like there was a season 7, not counting Quad Strike, but like, and he came back, he wouldn't be as prevalent. You know, Vault would be more prevalent than he was. So, a balance type user is the protagonist. Is very interesting. Definitely did not expect that at all. But yeah, again, it's pretty cool. And Hell Scythe is the main bay again. I can't get over that name. Like, that's really what they're going with for like the main bay name. Like we had like Ultimate Dragoon. It's pretty normal, I would say. Or I guess if you're American Spin Dragoon, pretty normal. Then like Pegasus, Valkyrie, Hell Scythe. One of these doesn't belong, and it's pretty obvious which. So yeah, it's weird to see, but yeah, apparently it's the main bay. Apparently there's also a third bay we saw a full image of, which is a we don't know if it's going to release or not apparently, but I have a theory for this, but it's sort of like this eagle type of bay. It's also red. It looks kind of similar to Hell Scythe in some ways, but different. Apparently it's the main character's first bay before he gets it. So we don't know if this is going to release, but I actually have a theory. I think this is why they're doing the kind of that deck set, because I think I'm wrong about the whole fusion idea. So I think what they're going to do is they'll maybe release like a recolored something of like Hell Scythe, and then maybe like the defense type recolor. Like we're probably going to get boosters of like the balance and stamina type and stuff. Really kind of recolor and kind of mix the parts. I think we'll get the defense version in here with maybe like a Hell Scythe as well. Just because, and then I think the main bay of the set will be that Eagle Bay, and that'll be kind of how they sell it, just kind of as an extra, you know. Unless if that's BXG01, that actually could be as well. So I think either one of these products is going to be explained because of this bay. The other one is still kind of going to be a weird thing. It depends on what they go with here. So either BXG01 is explained, and then the entry set's weird, or the entry set's explained and BXG01's weird. I don't know which. So I'm assuming that the Eagle Bay will be one of these two, though. Probably, anyway. Also, I think I mentioned it yesterday, but there is like a silhouettes, I should say, of two other bays, the stamina type and the defense type. Stamina type is kind of a chaos-looking shape, and then the defense type is just very round. I have a feeling I'm going to like the defense type a lot, but we'll see. So far, I like Hell Scythe more than Dren Sword. I will say that much, though. But overall, this is looking really crazy. I don't know how to feel about metal, I will say, because at the same time, like I feel like metal does kind of kill design. Especially when there's a lot of metal like there is here, so I'm not entirely convinced on metal yet, but at the same time, I want to give it a fair shot, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in this season. Also very curious what X Dashes, apparently, again, it's like some kind of gimmick. I think it might be sort of like a hit release type of engine gear or something, which is very interesting, but yeah. I want to know more about these bays for sure. I think we've seen most of the Korokoro stuff at this point, even though it's very early, but I think we've seen it all. Outside of that, the 17th, I guess for us is the 16th, which is a Tuesday? Tuesday's the 16th, I think. Pretty sure. Saturday, okay, 14th, yeah. So, probably the night of the 16th, or like early morning the 17th. I'll be awake regardless and here to talk about it, but yeah. Very excited for what that's going to be about. Very curious about it, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I just want to know more about the season already, because like I want to know more about the system and the bays. So far, the amount of information, it's there, but very limited, so... But hey, it's at least something, you know, it's not like what I thought we were going to get, which is just another very vague teaser for May, so we're at least getting news and seeing some stuff and like designs. So I'm excited regardless. Although it is very weird that they kind of pushed Dran's Sword is more of the main bay, rather than Hell Scythe, which is apparently the main bay, so it's a little bit confusing. Maybe they're trying to bait us with, like, another just attack type, even though it's not going to actually be the main one, so... Hard to say, though, but... Regardless, it just looks really cool. I'm excited for Beyblade X, honestly. It looks pretty nice. However many original bays there are, whether it be just the 4, or if they have like the kind of the Eagle bay somewhere, is like a 5th extra bay, however many products it takes. I will get all the main ones to start in July. So yeah, very excited for that, but I think that's all the news I have for today. I'll come back eventually if there's more stuff revealed before the 17th, or if we get more Bottleman news, or if I guess next clip might also be me unboxing that thing if it does come later today. I don't know if it will though, but I really hope it does. So yeah, anyway, that's all for today. I will come back eventually. Alright, so the package is here. Did get here on Saturday, which is very nice. I was hoping it would, but no big deal if it didn't, but still nice, regardless. If I could open this a little bit better, that'd probably be preferable. Let's see here. So there it is. Bottle Wyvern G. I have a lot of opinions on this thing. I don't know why I recorded this on Weekly Plays. It's like not even a minute, but yeah, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and do the video now. Alright, it's now Sunday, a little bit before 2 a.m. It's actually the proper time to when I should be recording this Weekly Plays. I think I already talked for like at least a half hour at this point, so yeah, that's something, but well, it's the proper week now, so yeah. Something else I want to talk about. This is something I was waiting on until I got to the proper week, but I'm just going to try and predict Yodcap right now. So, the entire line. Why am I doing this? I genuinely do not know, but I just felt like doing it, so... Alright. So, okay. I'm just going to say I don't think we're getting as many releases as we are in DX. I think that August was a special case last year. Like, I really think that it was a very special case. I don't think that'll happen again. So we won't get a giant release window, but we'll still get some stuff. So first up, so I'm not going to count remakes either, just not worth it. I honestly could be wrong. There might be less than I'm going to predict just because of how many remakes they've been doing, but we'll see. I think 2023 is going to be the last year of Owlman, unfortunately. I think December will be the end. Don't want to say that, but I just feel like it's going to happen. So yeah, what will we get this year? So of course, March we had Draggart G and 7th G. April and May, nothing new. But it looks like we will get something new in June, at least I think it's June. It's going to be called, apparently, Deca V Tiger. It's a Deca Vita release. We got Deca Vita Maru a long time ago as a special recolor for Kolomaru in the prototype system. So it looks like we're getting an actual Deca Vita Bottleman. That's pretty cool. So, yeah. That's probably going to be our June release and hopefully our first control type of the line. So it will be a new motif, it seems. Pretty cool. So Deca V Tiger G. Alright. July. What will be the July release? I'm assuming it'll be a big release. I'm just going to say it. Kolomaru G. This just seems the most likely to me at least. So going with Kolomaru G. August. August is a weird one, but honestly, for an August release, kinda hard to say, but I'm actually gonna go with probably Gyakroc G. I feel like that seems like a sensible one to do after all this time, so yeah, I'm gonna probably say Gyakroc G, and then after that though, September. Let's see, I think... I had an idea here, but I feel like I just lost the idea. September, I could honestly see them doing... I feel like this is probably a good time to get like a new Draggart, like Draggart Energy G. It wouldn't be called Energy, but like still, probably a new Draggart. I think October will be a set. I think this will be Rising Milk G and Fusion Black G. So this will get us another speed type since we've kind of been lacking on those, but at least in my mind from what I'm conceptualizing here, but I think that's a sensible one. And after that, for November, I'm going to say Sparking Knight G. And then after that, for Or honestly, you're probably actually no. This is stupid. Sparking Night G would probably be September. October would probably be the Dragon Evolution. Then probably the set for November. Okay, that seems more correct. I think that's what I was trying to go with, but I just like lost my train of thought. So okay, there we go. That makes more sense. And then finally, December will just be multi-types. You'll have a brand new Bottleman, I think, a brand new motif, or maybe Blast Boss G if they want to go crazy, but probably multi-type, and then also random collection with dual gold G. I think that's it. I genuinely think this is going to be the entire line of Godcap, and that's all we're getting. I know this is like kind of not a lot, and also like it's kind of boring. Not many releases either, and also just like a lot of evolutions. But I genuinely just don't think they're going to do a whole lot. Like I really, because okay, so based on like my release patterns here, I think this is all they're going to do. But like August of last year was a very special case that I don't think we're going to see happen again. Now, I could be wrong here as well. Maybe they'll also have like 2024 releases that could change things. Or maybe Godcap just isn't the end, but I feel like they won't renew the series for 2024, and that'll be it, so that's just my guess. Why I chose all of these picks? So, first up, obviously, Deca V Tiger G makes sense as a kind of like a new motif because like they did do something with Deca Vita already and they never made a proper Battleman out of it, so it kind of makes sense that they're going back to do it. But outside of that though, everything else here just feels like something that they should do, especially Kolomaru and Gyakroc. You kind of have to do these two, I would say. Aquasports is fine alone. We got it in DX. This is kind of like a DX2 system, so like we don't need it again. We don't really need anything from DX to come back. Kolomaru though, it's Kolomaru, so I think it probably should. But you should definitely get a Gyakroc evolution here. Then Sparking Knight, to me it just feels weird to not do Sparking Knight after they did Ten Satan, so I think making one in DX, one in G is actually kind of a cool move. And as far as placements go, Gyakroc doesn't strike me as like a late line release, so I feel like August would be a sensible spot for it. And then outside of that though, September for Sparking Night G, because like Ten Satan releases September. I think it's like a decent spot for it before it gets like too crazy, but like still early-ish. Not early, but it's like later, but not that late, you know, before we get to like the really crazy stuff. Dragger Evolution in October just seems like a sensible spot for it. Maybe swap this with the set if you really want to, but I'm just going to say October. November, Fusion Black and Rising Milk. These two, I feel like a fusion is inevitable, I think. They gotta do a Godcap fusion, you know. And I feel like these two are very sensible. Like, they were literally the two almost like progenitors of Godcap, with being the sole two Bottlemen to actually have unique caps before Godcap. Why would you not make new versions of them? And especially not as like a late set just to go crazy with it. And then for December, I think a new motif slash a Blast Boss evolution just to go wild. Like making Blast Boss like an actual thing, that'd just be really cool. But or just something new. This would probably be like the most insane thing ever. And then I just think Dual Gold G, again, kind of circling back around to Dual Gold, that would be a sensible move. And it's one I could definitely see them doing. So yeah. So how many Bottlemen is this in the line? That's what? Is that 11? I think that's only 11, right? I think I'm doing my math correctly here. Let's see. Let me just make sure. Okay, you got Draggart, Samets, Decavi Tiger, Kolomaru, Gyakroc, Sparking Knight, second Draggart, Fusion Black Rising Milk, New Motif slash Blast Boss, and then Dual Gold. Yeah, 11. Oh, that's not that bad. I can't talk. Oh god. That's not that bad though, but so 11 releases, is that fine? Maybe. But I guess if you kind of look at this as a DX2 system, that's actually a decent amount right there. Because we already have 16 like non-fusion releases, like normal ones, and then if you add on the 11, like yeah, it's 37. Like that's quite a lot, you know, for things in a relatively similar system. So I actually think this might be too many. Maybe you could swap out a couple of these. Like, maybe we don't get Sparking Knight G. Maybe we don't even get, um, another kind of random collection prize. Maybe not even a Dragon Evolution. Maybe we just get like 8 then, because I think we'll still have to get 2 fusions. I think we still get a big release, or not 2 fusions, but like 2 Bottlemen for a fusion rather, plus kind of a crazy release. We already have 3 that we know. And then I think Kolomaru and Gyakura kind of have to happen. So maybe even only 8. Maybe other ones would be like remakes or something. Like, I really thought we'd get like a Chrome Bottle G or something, or Bottle Chrome G, or is it? Yeah, Chrome Bottle G. That'd be the name. But we got Bottle Wyvern G instead, so like, I don't know if we'll get that or not. I thought we'd get like Bakuso and Rekuso remakes, and maybe like a Kaiser remake. I don't know, but yeah, whatever. I guess. Maybe we don't get more remakes. Maybe we do get a lot more. I think we might get more actually. Maybe they'll do like a set in August with Gyakrock or something, and then maybe we get like an extra motif there, something else small, and then like, or just a new remake in that set. Maybe swap out a couple of these other releases for remakes. That could happen. Like yeah, maybe like something like swap out one of these for like a variable Kaiser. I don't know the name of variable Kaiser. Is it variable Kaiser? That's the cartridge system one, I think. I don't know the earlier evolutions of it. I don't know as much about Beatamon as a lot of people because I am a lot newer to this stuff. I started with Bottleman like not much more than 2 years ago, and I didn't even look into Beatamon until like around this time last year. So all my knowledge is like pretty recent. So I don't know as much, but yeah, whatever that one is, the like earlier like the Zero System version of a variable Kaiser. What I think is it Lightning Con? Maybe I don't know. Blazing Con, Lightning Con, one of those potentially. Blazing Kaiser, Lightning. No, I think it's Lightning Con, Blazing Kaiser, something along those lines. It's something around there, whatever it is. I just don't know. And also like Chrome Zephyr, or yeah, a remake of that. Maybe one of those is like a normal one, like a normal booster, replacing or even in addition to something else, and then maybe another one like a set in August with possibly Yakrock G, and then also like maybe you don't get a dual gold G. Maybe you just get a random collection with prizes that are remakes of Bakuso and Rekuso, or maybe even in addition to dual gold G or whatever prize they have. You never know. And put those in there. You get both. You make Baku Rekuso. That's the name, right? Yeah. Okay. I feel like I just messed up the pronunciation horribly, but whatever. It's fine. I don't know. I just felt like these 5 would be remade for sure. Well, I guess also then there's the other problem of like probably I'm assuming we're gonna get Bottle Phoenix G as well, and then like are we getting any other remakes from Super Beatamon? Because then it's like okay, I don't know at this point. I feel like Godcap is a really weird thing, but I gave 11 if they want to do a full line, which is still not a ton, but like if they really want to go light, then there's a lot of remakes that they could do. But I think that we'll get 11 actual Bottlemen. But I feel like that's still kind of high, but it's also not because it's still like 1 a month, except for like March and November. So it's not that bad, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's really weird. Godcap has just been strange with releases. Like, okay, 2 regular Bottlemen plus a remake from March. April was just a remake, like no control type. May I don't think it's going to be anything, and I think June is when Deca V Tiger will come out, and I don't. It's been very strange. I don't know what to say anymore. Godcap just doesn't make sense. I think that's kind of the lesson here. So I wanted to give a prediction, but I feel like as I made my prediction, I started to doubt it more and more because it's like, wait, but they could also just not do like anything and just like give us like 5 Bottlemen if they want to. Because again, it's very much a DX2 system, so like when you factor that in, it's like, okay, well we already did get 16 DX Bottlemen. What else could they really do here? They could always just make some crazier stuff, but I feel like the line's definitely going to be smaller than DX, but how small? Again, 11 compared to 16, that's a decent bit smaller, and I think that's a fair amount, but like, Are they going to go really small? Maybe just do like 8 or something? They could, but again, I don't know. I feel like the remake problem is also still in effect where you've been getting way too many, so are they going to chill out and just give us a couple more, or are they going to keep going, making like a ton of them? We'll see, but that's all for today. I wanted to talk about this, but over time I kind of realized it was probably a pretty bad uphill battle trying to figure out, so yeah. I guess with that, I'm going to go ahead and upload my Bottle Wyvern G video, and that'll be fun, so yeah, I'm going to go do that now, and I'll come back at some point later this week when we get either more Bottleman news or for the Beyblade news we're getting. I might do a prediction on that later in this weekly blaze, we'll see, but for now, yeah, that's all for today. Alright, it's now Monday, a little after 1 a.m. This feels like a weird weekly blaze. It feels like it should have ended. Now it isn't. I guess that's just what happens when you start on a Friday, but anyway. So, Bottleman news is out, and I'm going to say it, I'm more excited for the Bottleman news than I am the Beyblade X news. Now, that said, I'm not trying to, like, discredit Beyblade X or whatever, you know. It's mainly just that Beyblade X had such an obnoxious launch. Like, okay, you give us a 3-2-1 teaser in November. Finally, 3-2-1 happens. Everyone's excited. You give us nothing. It was just annoying. It wasn't exciting. Then in April, Skorokoro, we got basically nothing again. And now maybe finally get stuff. And yeah, I'm sure when it gets closer, or as more stuff comes out, I'll be more excited for Beyblade X for sure. But for right now, it just is kind of more of a finally type of thing. Like, we're finally getting to see everything like we should have months ago. So for me, it doesn't really feel all that exciting right now. Now, when we get more information on the system itself, and it's not just like, you know, looks at the base, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad we're seeing anything, but still, once we get to actual, like, new stuff, maybe we'll see it within the next couple days, or maybe it'll be next month. Next month for sure, though, but, once we get to that point, okay, then I'll probably be more excited for Beyblade X than Bottleman, but for now, Bottleman. Okay, so first up, we did actually get the Decafee Tiger, the full reveal of it. Earlier, actually, I did not sleep well because I was up until 1 p.m. The reason I was up till 1 p.m. is I was about to fall asleep at like 10 a.m. and the Decafee Tiger news hit, and I was up talking about that because it's a weird one. So yes, there's like 4 things of note. Yes, it is a control type. So yes, finally getting our first control type after all this time. It took this long to do it, but yeah. Outside of that, though, like, it's, this is probably the weirdest thing. It's a vertical core. So I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I didn't say it, though, unfortunately, but I was thinking about, like, well, if we're not getting a Bottleman until June, and after that it's like the big July release, are we going to get a vertical core, or no? Are they going to leave it alone? And I remember thinking, I briefly had this idea of, like, what if they did like a vertical control type? That wouldn't happen, but no, it actually just did. I didn't expect that, but still, yeah, sure. So it is a vertical control type. So a vertical core. It looks very weird because apparently it can swap the arms and legs, but the core is vertical, so it looks really like tall and skinny, which is a. I will say it definitely looks a little bit awkward. It looks kind of bland, though. I will say that's my biggest criticism. I like the color scheme. It looks unique at least, but like it just looks bland. It does. It's not orange, but it reminds me of like an orange juice type of color. Listen, Earth Roller DX sucked as an orange Bottleman. It's really not even like a real orange. This is the closest we're getting, in my opinion, so I'll take it. It looks cool enough. It's just like the design itself is a little bit bland, but 2 other things to note because of the hold parts and how they are. Being vertical, that means if you push down on the head, apparently, it'll actually give a stronger shout, which is kind of cool. So it does have like a gimmick at least. And then also has its own type of cap, the vertical caps. These are caps that look to be double-sided and are meant to be even, which will help when you're shooting, of course, especially for a vertical shooter. That was kind of the main problem with Wonder Grape and Raid Brave, is that I think both of them were actually pretty solid in their lines. I think Wonder Grape was one of the best prototype system Bottleman. And I think Raid Brave is actually pretty underrated. I think it's actually a decent Bottleman. But with the Dragogena magazine, I actually think it's kind of good. But I think one of the main problems with them both is just been, like, the shots just aren't good enough. Like they're good, but like eventually they kind of veer off, or sometimes it's worse than others. But they definitely do veer off at some point usually. And with this cap, it's supposed to kind of help that. And I think that's actually kind of good. This might also just be a meta cap in general. Like I could see this potentially even being good for other stuff that isn't even a vertical shooter, just because it's very even. It's completely like symmetrical. I think that might be a big deal. We'll see though, but still, for now, it definitely seems like this cap might be good. The actual like edges of the cap as well, they look different, which is important because it means that it has a chance to not suffer from the typical molds. Because yeah, it's still going to probably be produced in China, but if the grooves are at least different, maybe smoother, they look a little bit smoother, since it has a unique shape, that potentially means that we could be seeing a cap that is actually new but functional, and that'd be a huge deal if it is. So I'm definitely very curious about that and how that's going to work. That's very important. So yeah, I'll have to wait and see. But again, very important. This could actually be a new cap that is going to be pretty good, especially for vertical shooters. I imagine even if it doesn't shoot as well, because again, the molds are just stupid in China apparently for whatever reason. I don't know what's wrong with the with the factory over there for them, but for some reason it's just not as good. Even if it's not as good, it should probably still be the preferred vertical cap. I'm assuming, even for like DX stuff, because again, like it'll probably just work. I'm actually very curious about this as well. If you get like four of these things, like yeah, four of them. I know it's a lot, but if you got four vertical caps and put them into Dragocina DX, how good could that be? I know that the shots kind of go inward a little bit, which is helpful to Dragogina, but I just wonder how would that work? That'd be a fun test. I'm not getting four of them though, but if anyone does, that'd be a cool test. Outside of that, yeah, Deca Tiger is cool. However, they of course they had to do this to us. They had to give us a teaser of the July bottle, man. I was wrong. It's not Kolomaru G, and yes, it seems like my entire theory is probably just dead at this point. But that I just talked about yesterday. But it seems like it'll probably be a new motif, which is fine. But this is it's a black and blue bottle, man, and it looks very weird. It has these two wing type things that kind of seem like they're higher up, but they also have their own caps. So it looks like it shoots normally from the center, but outside of that, the outer parts have like these almost like mini caps of sorts. I don't know how that's gonna work. There's also like this giant magazine type of thing. Also, it's not a magazine. Maybe it's DHB. I doubt that, but still, it's something in the back that's kind of big. This bottle end just looks wild. Um, so we don't know exactly if it'll be a one-sided like extra wing thing or if it'll be on both sides. It almost looks like there's like a big cap launcher on there, but I can't tell. I don't think so, but still, that could be that. It looks like we'll at least get one mini cap, maybe two of them, one per side. Potentially maybe a big cap launcher on top of those. Again, I doubt this, but that would be insane. The middle's normal, and then I don't know how the firing mechanism's gonna work. But we have something on the back that's pretty big. Either it's a pretty big, unique magazine, or maybe DHB. I don't think it'll be DHB. I think it's just Cope, because I think everyone wants DHB. DHB was by far the most interesting thing that Beaton's ever done in terms of a game. It was much more interactive. You could shoot at each other with, of course, DHB attached. You know, it was a very interesting thing, because it meant that you were playing against someone. It wasn't a just hit the targets or whatever. It wasn't like a competition like that. No, it was like an actual kind of battle, which was really cool. We need that back. That was by far the best game that we've ever gotten for beat 'em on. So I don't know why they've been so reluctant to give us DHB for Bottleman, but whatever. If it's DHB, I'm going insane. Then I might genuinely be more hyped for Bottleman at that point than Beyblade X if it is DHB, because that would be insane. But for now, I'm assuming it's not actually that. I'm just really hoping it is. But even so, if it's a big magazine, how's that going to work? What's the mini cap? How are the mini caps going to work? Are there one or two of them? How does the trigger press work? Are those big cap launchers on top? I don't think so, but what if? There's just a lot. Like, this bottle man is going to be insane. I'm very excited to see next month. I think next month it might actually be earlier, like the news, because let me check here, but I think it's earlier because I heard something like a toy fair on the 11th and 12th. So if that's the case, I need to record. Oh, perfect. So it's actually the week I'll be recording will be the 11th through the 17th. So I'll probably try to record that night, Saturday night, maybe even Friday night. I might start a day early then for the 10th, and then, yeah. So I'll start in time for the toy fair, and then after that I'll be recording throughout the week for the Korokoro as well, just to see if there's any extra news, and then that'll be a big week for sure. So okay, that's still like a month out, but you know what? That's fine. Honestly, I'm in no rush to get to this stuff because I'm trying to enjoy my summer break. But hey, when it comes around, I'll be here for it because it's kind of wild looking. I mean, I've been harsh on God Cap so far. I've said that there's a lot of problems with Draggart G. Samus G I think is okay, but I guess God Cap in general just has problems. So like that's unfortunate. It kind of gets caught up in that. I said Cobalt Bottle G was bad. I said Bottle Wyvern G was just stupid, and now Decavi Tiger G is weird, but like it looks kind of like another, at least like a Samus G situation where I'm like okay with it. Like I like it, just like unfortunate God Cap issues. But hey, maybe the caps will work fine. Maybe it'll be okay. We'll see. But that July Bottle Man though, that's looking kind of insane. I'm very excited to see what they do with this. And then yeah, of course Beyblade X. I might talk more about Beyblade X later in this video. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But for now, that's everything. That is all the Bottleman stuff I wanted to talk about. I've been wanting to talk about this stuff for a while, so yeah. Very, very excited regardless. Very interested to see what they do here for both things. And yeah, again, in a few weeks when it's time for that, I'll be back. But for now, at least for today, I'll shut up. I'll probably have more to talk about because we still have that Beyblade X thing on, I think it's the 17th at 12 p.m. So it's 10 p.m. my time on the 16th, which is Tuesday. Okay, I'll probably do predictions tomorrow then. Technically, it'll be Tuesday morning, so yeah. I'll do predictions tomorrow, and then we'll come back for the next time. The next day will be whatever they announce. I'll talk about it, so yeah. Anyways, that's all for now, so I'll be back probably tomorrow to talk more about that stuff, so yeah. Alright, so it is now Wednesday, right around 5 a.m. And, yeah, so I did skip recording yesterday. Yesterday was supposed to be like the prediction day, which I skipped because I realized, oh wait, I have no idea what we're gonna get for today. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold off. I'm just gonna wait to see what there is and talk about whatever comes out. In all honesty, I didn't expect much. I thought we'd maybe get some teases, not teases, but like maybe some better reveals on the first two bays, Drawn Sword and Hell Scythe, and that's just what I thought we would get. I didn't think we'd get anything on the system or any of the products. I just thought it'd be these two, a little bit more in depth. I was very, very wrong on that. So yes, we did get the full base for those two, but we got so much stuff. Like, I took so many pictures. I wasn't actually home at the time. But yeah, I have like, let's see here, 30 pictures saved. I saved 30 pictures while I was not home because I was genuinely like, what is happening? So I still don't know who owns the Green Bay. That's something that we don't know yet, but we do know that the kind of one rival-looking character, he also apparently wears a mask, it looks like. He has the Blue Bay, Drawn Sword. And then it looks like the red, main character has Hell Scythe. And then there's this Yellow Bay, which is owned by a female blader. This is a big deal, because if you remember, they just did not allow females to own Beyblade in Burst. Like, yeah, okay, we had a few, but like, they were never important, or if there were any important female bladers, not female bladers, just female characters in Burst, they were always kind of off to the side, not participating in battle. And again, if they were, they weren't important. The closest thing we had to someone important was Ilya, but she had a Hasbro Bay, and Takara never released Ifrit, Magma Ifrit. So finally, it looks like with Beyblade X, we are actually going to get an actual female blader at the start here, right away, who will probably be an important character. Hopefully throughout the series. Hopefully we just see more in general, because I just think that it's something that really should be there, and I don't think that there's ever a reason to not have it. So hopefully that's something that's a little bit more of a mainstay, but we'll see. I kind of like how that's the first thing I talk about. It was just the first image right here, though. So we do actually learn more about the system itself. The top piece, which is sort of like the layer, which has like all the metal, sort of the main design, everything like that. This is called the blade. So the blade will be the main piece of every bay, which I think is sensible. Underneath that is the ratchet. This is kind of a plastic piece that goes underneath it. Seems to house some stuff. It's pretty interesting looking. Don't really know exactly what it does. But then there's the bit, which is sort of the tip of the bay. Also has kind of a gear pattern on it. This is pretty important because the gear actually does something, which I'll get to in a bit here. But yeah, so what the bit does is sort of like the tip has this gear type of thing on it. I don't really know what the ratchet does. It might sort of interact with a bit in a certain way. It looks like probably, and I guess it might just be like an extra piece to the bay to make it a little bit more stable or something. I don't know. But I don't know exactly what that does yet. I know there might be more information. I'm just kind of giving my first impressions just raw, just saying whatever right now. I'm going to make a proper discussion tomorrow on everything and what we got. So, yeah, it looks very, very interesting. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff here. Also, then we go back here to the stadium. So the stadium does seem to just have the one pocket, I think, from what I saw anyway. But there's this sort of green, or I guess black ridge, depending, green, whatever. Depends on which stadium you get, I think. But there's this ridge around it, and there's sort of these two on each side, like these two little pieces that come out. And what that does is it sort of pushes them. So if a bay tornado stalls, which is when they basically go on the outside ridge and just kind of spin forever, and then they eventually get to the center when they have no stamina. What these two little things do, and there are mods for these for like burst stadiums and stuff. When a bay hits these, they kind of fly towards the middle, which is nice, and they are kind of pre-built onto here. Also, this kind of outer piece does something else, which is that it has a gear design. This is the X-Dash. The X-Dash is a gear-like piece on the bit, or like a gear-like pattern, I should say, on the bit. And this will go onto the stadium. And these accelerate very, very fast when the bit and this part of the stadium connect. The bay just really just flies, hits off onto this like edge piece, and flies towards the center very fast. So that's what the X-Dash is, which is... I did not expect a stadium gimmick to be tied to the bays, which is very cool. I'm actually all for that. It looks very, very interesting, very curious about it. So yeah, really cool overall. Very excited to see what more clips on that, because the few clips I did see, they look insane. They do look very fast. So it is very exciting, I will say. Did not expect something to be integrated with the stadium, but again, I'm here for it. Also, we had the launcher grip. Looks pretty basic, but pretty cool. It looks almost like a fusion, like a modern fusion of like Metal Fight and Burst launcher grips in some ways. Ripcord launchers are looking kind of weird, but like they're very square, but you know what, sure, why not? Bay launchers are also looking kind of like burst launchers. They look pretty decent, and then the Bay Pass literally just looks like a recolored and rethemed Bay Logger, which is interesting. I wonder what that'll do exactly. So yeah. And yeah, the Start Dash set, it does seem like, if I could find the thing, has a stadium, a ripcord launcher, a launcher grip, and then a somewhat, sort of recolored drawn sword, it looks like, so that's pretty neat. I mean, sure, why not? Alright, now here we go. Here's the main base. So we have BX01, Drawn Sword 360F. Or 3-60, or 3... I'm just going to say 360. So the blade is Drawn Sword, the ratchet is 360, and the bit is F. I don't know if the F stands for anything or not. 360 I'd assume doesn't, obviously it's numbers, but F, I don't know if that stands for something or not. I haven't looked into it, but that's the combo name. Next up, BX02, Hell Scythe 460T. So very interesting. So we have 360 and 460. So that's interesting, I will say. We don't know what I don't know what the 60 means. If it's that like a height thing or is it like a, because there's two 60s and I don't think anything else is a 60. But so we have 360 and 460, sure. And then the bit is of course T, and then the blade being Hell Scythe. So yeah. So these are the two bases we actually did know about already. But now we had like full looks at them, full combos and everything. But I guess more importantly, the yellow and green base got fully revealed. We know what they are now. Which I did not expect at all. I was very shocked by this. So the yellow bay, the chaos looking one, the stamina type is called Wizard Arrow 480B. So again, we have 4 again. I don't know if there's like different parts of the ratchet or what, but this is 480, so different than 460 of course. B as the bit, and then Wizard Arrow as the blade. And that was BX03, and then we have BX04. By the way, all 4 first products are all starters. BX04, the defense type, is Knight Shield 380N. N is the bit, cool. 380 is the ratchet. Again, don't really know much about that. And then, of course, Knight Shield is the blade, which looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm really trying to figure out what these ratchets are, but I don't really know. Very hard to tell. I'm also one-handed on my phone right now, and I can't really keep messing up everything. It looks like it might be like a flat sharp type of deal for Hell Scythe's bits. Just a flat for Drawn Sword. Wizard Arrow. Looking a little bit ball-like, and then it's almost like a sharp for Knight Shield, so that's weird. But yeah, all 4 first base revealed just out of nowhere, just like that, you know. I genuinely was very, very surprised that they just dropped all 4 of them now. But hey, there they all are. Very cool, honestly. So yeah, I'm very happy that they just decided to drop all 4 right now, just because. So yeah, very, very interested to see more of these. I want to see more clips, but I'm very excited to see them more like in person and stuff. Of course, about 2 months from now, we will have them. Oh yeah, the official release date is July 15th, 2023. We'll be there for it. I don't know if I'll get them like day of. I'd imagine not, but week after, so like 18th, 19th, hopefully, around then, I will have them, which is about 2 months from now. Very, very cool. Very excited for them. We also apparently got probably the worst confirmation, I will say. We have like a rare Bagget battle type of thing. Cobalt Drake, that is the name. It looks very cool. I'll give it that. But it's another rare Bagget battle situation. I'm not happy about that, honestly. That's one thing from Burst I was hoping would just not reappear ever again, but surprise, it did. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any of the other products. I don't think there were. I swear that they showed the boosters at one point. I didn't see them. I don't have them saved, though. Let me check again to be sure. Alright. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe I'm out of my mind. Maybe I would just remember like the boxes from everything. I don't know. Let me just check some images here just to make sure I'm not losing my mind. I didn't miss something. Also, while I am looking, they're trying to market this maybe towards more like of an older audience. They're trying to make this into like an actual sport. I'm all for that. That's really cool. Hopefully, that can do well. Because the idea is actually pretty neat. Like, Beyblade, I think, has that potential to be like sport-like. I would say. Like, I really do think that it could pull that off. So hopefully, yeah. Hopefully that they can succeed with that. It'd be kind of wild to see Beyblade as like a genuine sport. Like, imagine that. Like that's so wild. Oh, I do see the defense type owner, Knight Shield. Looks like a magician type of person. Anyway, um, checking for the booster still, but yeah, but yeah, like the idea of this becoming a sport, like a genuine sport, is so like it's cool but weird. It's like, man, Beyblade being like an actual sport is just such a weird concept. Like, I don't know, like it's not that weird because it's like it has, like I said, it has that potential, but it's just like, I don't know, I just didn't see that coming, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, I'm not having much luck with finding what I was trying to find, so that may not be something that I see yet. The two boosters, it's BX05 and BX06. I have yet to find them. Alright, either I missed them earlier, or they just straight up have not. No, they have been revealed. Okay, never mind. I think I found them. Finally. Um, looks like I did. Okay. Let me jump back here. BX05 looks like a recolor of Wizard Arrow. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, there's the Baydeck case as well. It's pretty cool. So, wait, BX05 is a red recolor of Wizard Arrow with the parts 480B. Cool. And then we have a blue, I think it was blue. Let me go back. A blue Knight Shield. I don't know the parts on this one, though. Quickly looking to see if I can find them. If not, that's fine, because I think they're just re-released parts anyway. Yeah, not seeing them. Not seeing them, but yeah. So we got one BX, we got one of the boosters at least. And the other one, we at least know the bay, I don't see the box anywhere, so. Unfortunate, but hey, it was worth checking. And it does seem like they'll just be like recolors and stuff, though, so it's not that big of a deal. I'll skip out on these at the start. I'm just buying the 4 bays. However, we got BX08, the the deck set. I was wrong. They're not doing anything new here at all, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't know what the point of this is then. So in this, we will have, my phone would turn on. There we go. Hellscythe 380B in yellow, green Wizard Arrow 460N, and a red Knight Shield 480T. I don't know what the point of this is. If they're just re-releasing bays, like we have, what, 3 Knight Shields and 3 Wizard Arrows. We haven't seen BXG01 yet, so that'll be, I think it's a Dran Sword recolor, plus a Start Dash set one, so we'll have 3 Dran Swords, and then it looks like 2 Hell Scythes. But it's just like, why are they releasing so many colors of them? I don't get that. Whatever, I guess, but, you know. I don't know, I just find it like really weird, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, that's kind of everything I think for now for these bays. I'm gonna do some more digging tonight and tomorrow before I do my discussion, because I think I should know more about this stuff. Again, this is mostly stuff I was looking at while not home, and sort of compiled while I was not home. And I got home, I had a sandwich, and then basically just came up here to record, so I mean, that's that, I guess. So, yeah. I guess one quick thing I want to do before I end off today's part of the Weekly Blaze is, I guess just kind of say what my favorite is. So, we have the main four. Honestly, my least favorite, which I'm kind of surprised about, but it's Night Shield. Historically, I've gone with defense types as my favorites. Um, like Drasil or Kirbyus. I guess I didn't really favor Leon. I favored Poison Serpent for some reason. I guess I was still a kid back then. But if I had to choose between the main four of MFB, I probably would have chosen Leon over Pegasus, Sagittario, or Bull. So this is the first time I'm not going with a defense type of the main four. And it's my least favorite. I think the green is nice looking. I think it looks cool, but I don't know. The others just a little bit more interesting to me. Third is probably Drawn Sword. It's very close. Second for me is Hell Scythe. Both of these are very, very close. I think, I don't know, Drawn Sword I really kind of like the shape of. I don't know, it just looks a little bit cool. I like the blue, I like the face design, but Hell Scythe is also really cool. I like the red. I think for me they're just almost even, but what I think kind of breaks the tie is the face design. I really like Hell Scythes a lot. But my favorite has to just be Wizard Arrow. The yellow, the shape looks really cool. I've actually never really gotten into stamina types that much, to be honest with you. Like, I always liked Ragnarok and, Fafnir, Zeus, Knight, they've all been pretty cool. But I generally don't favor them, so it's kind of interesting that I'm kind of favoring them. I feel like every other gen I always have something else that I like a lot that's from another type. Again, like with, Poison Serpent, that was a balance type. Or, I really liked Belial a lot, and that was an attack type. Or, okay, that's all I need to say, balance and attack. There's others for sure, but, like, Stamina's the one I generally don't care as much about. Was Burning Kerberos a stamina type? I don't think it was, but it might have been. If that's one, I cared about that one. I don't know if Zeus is a stamina type either. Those two were pretty cool, but like, outside of them from Plastic Gen, I didn't really care much about stamina types. Like Wolborg's kind of cool, I guess, but not that crazy to me. From like MFB, I mean, Hellkirbyx is really cool. I like Hellkirbyx a lot, actually. But outside of that, it's like, do I care about stamina types that much? Not really. Burst, I mean, I liked, the motifs I said, Ragnarok, Fafnir, Zeus, or, Knight, I guess, since that became more prominent. Even some odd ones, like, I did like Yggdrasil a lot, or Trident, or Chaos was also really cool. Like, some of my favorite earlier motifs were stamina types, but I feel like they were never at the top. I know Jaeger Yggdrasil was still my favorite dual layer overall, but, like, at the same time, I still had more of a connection with some other base, like Kirbyus, like Kaiser Kirbyus, for example. So it was never really like there. And so starting with the stamina type this time, very unusual. Attack and balance types always get some crazy stuff, so those are always exciting. Defense is usually kind of my thing, but no, stamina this time, so yeah. Wizard Arrow, also this is happened to be the one that the girl owned, which is, again, very excited about that, finally. It just seemed like they really. It almost was getting a little bit suspicious. Well, it kind of was just suspicious to how much they just refused to do it in burst. So it's like, okay, can they do that? Like, come on, it's not that big of a deal. Like, okay, so it looks like they're starting with that, which is nice. And yeah, and her bay is definitely my favorite. It just looks really cool. Again, not used to choosing stamina types, but I am kind of a fan of this one. It looks very cool. So yeah, I am quite excited about that. So overall, I am pretty excited about Beyblade X, and it's funny because I was just like earlier in this weekly plays, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm more excited about this Bottle Man, which I think might be Fusion Black G, but I was very excited about that, and then all of a sudden, nope, we just got like every Beyblade X news that I wanted, so yeah, I'm very excited about that now, which is nice. I wanted to talk about that. It's been already over 20 minutes. Okay, then. That's basically all I have to say today. I'll come back probably tomorrow a little while to talk about it, but definitely going to be making a discussion on more of my thoughts, and by the time this weekly blaze is out, that will already be out, so it's not a big deal. We'll be pushing back the Balcotech review probably till the 20th because of that, because I definitely want to talk about the Beyblade news sooner. But yeah, outside of that, that's basically all for today. So yeah. Alright, it is now Sunday at like 1 a.m. Yeah, this is a pretty long weekly blaze in terms of time span, but yeah. So I did upload the Beyblade X discussion. I'm probably not going to reiterate all the stuff here. I made a whole video on that, and I think everything's covered there. So I don't really need to do more here, but yeah, the video is like popping off right now. I think it has like 1,000 views already, which is wild. Like I uploaded it, I think like what three days ago now, just about anyway. So I'll probably leave that maybe a couple more days before I upload anything else. I don't know. We'll see. I noticed this thing. It's really weird. I don't think I know why it does this, but also sorry my voice is dead. My voice has been dead for a couple days. That's actually why I didn't record more, but or didn't record like yesterday or the day before. But yeah, my voice is very dead at the moment. But anyway, getting better, so I can actually talk today. But I'll probably not upload a video tomorrow. Maybe for a couple more days, but partially my voice, but also just because I noticed this weird thing with YouTube, and again, I think I know the reason probably, but if you have a video that's doing very, very well, right? Like for me, 1,000 views in a video, that's really good for my channel. Actually, I'll talk about that in a minute, but like, for a big channel, if they have a video that's popping off, they can upload another video while that video is still doing really well, and get more views on the other video too. Like normal views at least. But I noticed for small channels that doesn't happen. Like if you have a video that's popping off, if you upload a video too soon, it kind of stunts the growth of the video. I've noticed this a few times now with videos, like they do really well the first day or two, and then a lot of times because I upload, 2 days later, well, at least sometimes, but still, it does happen, and then the video just doesn't get views, like it just stops, and over time it might get some, but like it doesn't get a lot. And it just stunts the growth of it. So I think what YouTube does is they recommend videos that are like if a channel's like starting to do well or like kind of doing well, when they recommend videos, it tends to be the newest video, at least from what I've seen. And I think if my channel's being pushed to people, it's probably my newest video. That was part of the reasons why I decided to make weekly blazes the way I do, with putting them out paired with videos, because I don't want those to be the videos pushed, because then no one's going to want to watch them. Actually, I'll talk more about weekly blazes in a minute here, but yeah. So, because of that, I'm just opting to not upload videos for a few days, just because I want to let that video do what it wants. Will it stop at 1,000? Maybe. Will it maybe get to like 2? I don't know about that, but maybe like 1.5 or so would be nice. So I'll let it chill, but yeah, I want to see if my idea is correct here. I don't know, it's not like proven, but it's just like a thing I noticed. So kind of interesting. But anyway, weekly blazes, yeah. So I had this idea a while ago. I don't think I'll do it, but like I might if like my channel actually starts doing well, and like maybe can keep going, but we'll see. I'll not keep going in the sense I'm going to quit, but like, if it keeps like, getting more videos that get like a lot of views or something. So I had this idea where I might just unlist all my weekly blazes, which is a decision, but I would keep the playlists. So if anyone wanted to really watch them, the playlists would stay public and anyone could watch them whenever, but they wouldn't pop up on my channel as like an important video. This is like a weird idea that was like something I just thought of. Like I could always just unlist them and kind of just leave them there and just in the playlist. Anyone could watch them whenever if they wanted to watch these, because I know these don't get a lot of views at all, so they could just be there for that. If there's like a few, very, very few people that actually care about these, they're still there, but they're not there for everyone else. It's not a bad idea, I don't think anyway. It's just not one that I kind of want. I just don't want to do that, honestly. I'll probably just leave them up, honestly, but like it was an idea that I had that if they ended up limiting me heavily, then I'll do it, but if not, I'll just leave them. Like, if every other video starts to do really, really well or something, like hundreds of views every video except these, then I'll probably just unlist them, and keep the playlist up and kind of say that they're still there, just, not having them properly public. I don't know if I don't want to do that though, honestly. I really don't, but if I have to, I will. Outside of that though, yeah, this video got 1,000 views. That's actually the first video of mine to get 1,000 views since I think it was my I think it was a video I did in 2018. I think it was my Rise Deck review from like July 2018. Almost 5 years ago now. It's been that long since a video of mine's gotten like 1,000 views. So kind of wild to see. Like I remember being hyped up like my Zeta Municus video or like my VS set video, but no, this one's popped off. It's almost kind of funny though. It's like, okay, I can make. It was like a half-hour long video, but there was just so much to talk about that it was like still, I think, pretty quick for me anyway, of making a video. And it was just like this video talking about some new stuff. Over 1,000 views. Okay, what about a 40-minute analysis that I actually had to do a lot of prep for talking about color design, or what about going through making an entire doc to basically just remake all of Beyblade Burst, less than 100 views, for those videos, so, because of course that's just how YouTube is. I sort of like the more general something is, the more like I guess accessible you could say, the better it does, and I get that, but it's unfortunate because it's like I feel like a lot of people who do YouTube like actually like do it for like a job. I don't, but I feel like you're kind of forced to do a lot of stuff that you don't entirely want to do. Not everyone. I'm sure there's stuff people like and they wouldn't do it if they hated it, but like they probably can't make everything that they actually want to because doing the more niche stuff like that, even though like I find like the more analytical Beyblade stuff interesting. And yeah, I think that there is like an idea there for like a niche part of like Beyblade videos, but they aren't going to do as well as just battles. Like you can have a channel dedicated to battles that's not even like a really good channel or anything. Oh, okay, you need like basic stuff. Like yeah, you need to have like a camera that's like decent, and like you have to have a lot of bays, of course, and have like matchups people want to see. There is coordinating that stuff, but like that's not hard to figure out. I mean, you have to have the money to get the bays, I guess. There's that, but like outside of that though, like you can just have a battle channel and like probably do decently. In terms of like Beyblade, at least like maybe not like a job, but at least like be decently prominent in the Beyblade community as like a YouTuber if you really wanted to, and if you were willing to try with that stuff, just by doing battles and having like a pretty okay channel. Like there's channels that have done that. I'm not gonna name names out here, but that they do exist. But if you decide to make like docs and go in it really in depth with stuff, it's not going to connect with people. And I know that. Like I'm not over here to be like angry at the battle channels are like doing better. It's like no. I don't care what they're doing. I'm just doing my thing. But I do feel like it's kind of unfortunate still. And not even just Babel. I'm just using that as an example. I'm just talking about like anything really. If you get like really specific into stuff, people aren't going to care as much. It doesn't appeal to everyone. Only some people want to watch that. While, like, again, for a Beyblade battle, it's something that more people are interested in, so. Like, I could do that, but I just don't want to. I don't know, it's weird. YouTube's weird, but, like, it makes sense. Like, even, like, with anime, right? Like, I like a lot of different anime. I watch a lot of stuff, but, something like Demon Slayer, or whatever. Like, there's so many shonen series I could just name, like what's been popular in like, the past decade? Like really, really big. Like okay, Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, One Punch Man, My Hero Academia. Let's see what else would be like on that really, really high up point. Yeah, I guess Demon Slayer is like the next one that'd be really big, and then Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man. I feel like those seven were like the ones that people went the craziest over. I'm not saying that all of these aren't like interesting. Like Attack on Titan's done some pretty interesting stuff. I think Chainsaw Man as well. But the other five, like, they're not that crazy. Like they're not overly interesting. Like, I know Tokyo Ghoul, people say the manga's good and stuff, and that's different though. But I'm talking about the anime. It was never overly interesting. But even looking at Attack on Titan, it was never the whole lore of every like the whole lore of the world basically, and all of like the I guess political stuff in the show that got people hooked. It was just that people were fighting titans and it was well animated. Attack on Titan never got popular because it was an interesting series. It got popular because again, people are fighting titans, and it's kind of cool. That's why it got popular. It wasn't the story that did it at all. And again, proof of this is stuff like Demon Slayer. What story does Demon Slayer have? It really just doesn't have one. What characters? The characters are cardboard cutouts. But it has cool action, and a lot of people just want to watch cool action. And you know, fair enough. But at the same time, I wouldn't consider these to be great anime. At least, like, I mean, Demons. Like, some of these you could argue, but like, I guess they didn't get popular for those reasons. But something like Demon Slayer is a great example because it never really turns into anything. But it's gonna be like really popular anyway because again, cool fight scenes. But then something that I would consider a like a really really great series would be. I also will say the English title, March Comes Like a Lion. Phenomenal series, but it's not going to appeal to a lot of people. Or even like, I guess I'm just saying English titles today. Humanity Has Declined, another great series. Probably will never get continued, unfortunately. But it's a great series, and it's very interesting. But again, it just sucks that like the niche stuff doesn't. I mean, it's niche for a reason, right? But like, these shows are way, way better, but again, it just doesn't appeal to everyone. I don't. Why am I going this far into this stuff that's like really obvious? I don't know. Anyway, that was a random discussion there. But anyway, this was spawned from like me talking about weekly plays, I think, or like views. It was yeah, I just got like 1,000 views on a video for the first time in a while. Anyway, yeah, it was about that. Yeah, that's cool. I could have summed it up there. Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, I don't know if I'll record next week. Probably not, honestly. This will probably be maybe the week after that. But yeah. So I don't think there's anything else to really talk about this week. I mean, I talked about. Oh, I swear it feels like it's been way more. This week feels very long. Like I swear it feels like the Beyblade X news was like weeks ago, and it was like a couple days ago. Don't need to go more into that. I already talked about enough of it. I talked about the Bottleman news. That feels like forever ago, but again, it was like not even a week ago. Like Deca v Tiger G, the new Bottleman that I actually think might be Fusion Black G. We'll see, but yeah, this is a weird week. I swear it feels like I've been recording this weekly blaze for a very long time. Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else for this week? I don't think so. Again, this was just such a weird week. What other videos am I going to upload, I guess? I could just say that, because I don't think I'm going to be uploading many more videos for May. I think like 4 more videos and I'll be done. Probably. I was thinking next will probably be the Bakutech review, which is Grand Panzer. I figured that out finally. That'll probably be like, I don't know, the 20 something, like first half of the 20s, I guess. And probably a couple days after that, I'll upload this weekly blaze. I'm going to actually hold off because, in case anyone's new to the channel, I don't want my first video back to be a weekly blaze, so I'll hold this off until the 20... I made like the 26th or something, and then I'll make another video there. I have a few ideas. I might do like the Bottleman remake stuff then. Like, I want to do a Bottleman discussion on why I don't like the remakes, and then, after that, I'll probably just wait till like the last day of May or something, and then I'll do the Chosets one, and then I'm gonna probably at the very start of June I'm gonna do the GT the reimagining series. I just want to do them back to back. I want to see if that maybe helps them a little bit because I feel like it's a cool idea for a series. Maybe uploading them back to back will help them for performance. Unless if unless the Chosets one pops off, then I might hold it back because like I just mentioned. But even then, I'll only hold it back a few days. But I'll do them consecutively though for uploads because I don't know. I want to see if that helps it at all. Because again, it's a really, I think that's a cool series. But Admittedly, the first two episodes are not as interesting, unfortunately. First one really isn't. The second, like, the God one's okay. Chosetsu is going to be pretty good, I think, and then GT, that one will be pretty nice as well, a little bit better than Chosetsu, I think, and then Sparking and TB. Once we get to those, that's going to be a fun one, or, well, fun ones, but I don't know, I'll probably do the Sparking one, later June, I don't know when, but I think I'm going to do the DB one, 4th of July, that just seems like a nice day to do it, but for June, since we're already almost there, I really want to do another Chef Blaze, that's one thing I'm going to do, and then I also really, really want to make, my Beyblade Burst collection before Beyblade X happens. That I actually will have quite a bit of time to record just any time of day, whenever I feel like, for a few days in June, and I'll probably do it then. I'm not going with all the stadiums. That's a whole mess over there. I'm not doing that. Um, I guess I could. I don't have that many Burst stadiums. I have what? Mugen Stadium, Double Muso Stadium, the Burst Standard Stadium, Limit Break Stadium, 2 DB stadiums, so 6. But then I feel like, okay, the spot's creaking, I'm going to step back. Then I feel like I have to do launchers as well. Yeah, never mind, I'm just going to do the bays. There's already a lot of those to go through. So, I was waiting for for BU to finish, then I was like, maybe I could just wait for the V2 set to come out. And I did, and now I haven't done it yet, so I definitely want to do it before Beyblade X comes out, for sure, though, and, yeah, oh yeah, by the way, I did pre-order all of the Beyblade X bays. Did I say Beyblade Burst X? I hope not. Beyblade X. Not all of them. I pre-ordered the main 4, though, the starters. Oh yeah, one thing I do want to mention, since I did say this in my, discussion video, so I think someone pointed this out in the comments, but, basically, apparently the idea behind all of the recolors is so people can buy them together or something. So, like, if you buy Drawn Sword and Hell Scythe, the starters, you could then go and buy Wizard Arrow and Knight Shield as the boosters for cheaper. So, you could do that if you want. Or you could buy the Star Dash set with that Drawn Sword. Then you have the recolor set you could buy. And that, well, if you mix them all up, you get all 3 of the bays, like Hell Scythe, Wizard Arrow, Knight Shield. All the parts for these bays are in there. You could, reshuffle them into the combos that you want. But you'll have all the parts. That's apparently the idea. So, and I understand, I'm not saying that this is a bad, comment or anything like that. No, it's actually a good comment. I'm glad someone said that, because, it definitely makes sense. And, but at the same time, on Takara Tomi's part, I had to make the distinction there. This is on Takara Tomi. That's just kind of stupid. What's the point of making the recolor sets? I don't think there is one. Here's the thing. Okay, you could save a very, very small amount of money with the recolor sets. Why not just buy the other starter and the 2 boosters? I feel like, yeah, you save a couple dollars, but I don't know. We didn't really need the boosters either. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like we could have maybe got the boosters, but we didn't really need the set at all. I understand the idea behind it, but still, I'd rather just buy a Hell Scythe starter and get another launcher out of it, and then, you could just buy, the boosters of a Wizard Arrow and Knight Shield if you really want at that point. Or better yet, just give Hell Scythe a booster. Make that BX05, and then push everything back by 1, then the start dash that's BX08, then we just go, normal after that. And then just market the boosters if you buy the start dash set or something. I don't know, it just seems weird to me, whatever. But, yeah. Glad someone explained it. I think it's a good explanation, but at the same time, on Takara Tomi's part, why? So yeah. Anyways, I think that's all for this weekly Blaze. This is a very long weekly Blaze. I genuinely have no idea how long this is going to be. I think it might be over an hour and a half long. So that's fun. But yeah, that's all for this video though. So yeah, everything for this week. Again, we started very early. We're ending technically late, but I do this a lot anyway, so it's fine, but still. Long one. Anyway, that's all for this video, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and bye.